Hey everybody, it's Anderson School Buses here, and welcome to my first video. I figured we'd start things off by reviewing one of the most popular school bus models on the market right now, the third generation ICCE, built by IC Bus, also known as International. My county ordered 15 of these this past year, and I have to say, I'm pretty satisfied with how they turned out, so let's get into it. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. So how this is going to work is I'm going to talk about several factors about the bus in general, how it rides, all the good things there are about it, and any complaints I might have about it, which I actually do have a few, but we'll get to those later. As you can see, I got some on-ride footage of this bus. The one that I'm on was manufactured in 2025. You can see that this bus rides very smoothly, and that's actually the first thing I want to talk about in this video. One of the first things you're going to notice about this bus is that it rides very smoothly, even along bumpier roads, and I don't have any complaints about that. I have a video from a different 3rd Gen ICCE that I got on later in the day that I'd like to show you as well, so enjoy that. Okay, so as you can probably tell, well, you can't tell this, but I'm on a different bus than I was this morning, but it is still a 3rd Gen, and as you can see, we're looking down at the road. This bus runs very smoothly. We're going over a bridge, but even that bridge was not as bumpy as it would have been on even an older Blue Division, or even an older ICCE. This is a smooth bus. One of my only complaints that I will bring up at some point during this video is the amount of legroom. There's not a whole lot of it, and if it's 3 to a seat, and I have my backpack here, there's not a whole lot of legroom. That's one of my only complaints about this bus, but overall this is a pretty good model. It's my favorite bus model, so that's a better first-person perspective of how smooth this bus runs, even over roads that wouldn't be as smooth or comfortable on other buses like I mentioned. I do want to clarify that this footage was shot towards the front of the bus, and it may ride differently for you based on where you're sitting and or how fast the bus is going. The next thing I want to talk about is how noisy the bus is. This is another hit out of the park because this bus is very quiet. This is the quietest school bus I've ever been on. It's so quiet that unless you're paying attention, you can't even hear the bus rolling on the road. Everything from the blinkers to the hazards to the bus itself when it's on the road is just so peaceful and quiet. This bus is very, very quiet and very, very smooth along the road, and that's what I look for in a bus. Up next, I'm going to talk about the bus's appearance itself. This isn't the most important factor about the bus, but it still plays a part and gives you a little idea of how the bus is going to be. I know they say you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but for school buses, I honestly don't think that's true, because you could have a bus that rides terribly, but actually looks really nice on the outside and inside. In my county, there's actually one Bluebird Division like this that I know of. Anyways, when I first saw these buses, I immediately knew they were going to be epic, and I was right. Just take a look at this thing. For someone who's trying to get into the school bus world but has never seen a 3rd Gen before, just imagine their reaction when they see this. In my opinion, this bus is truly the most beautiful school bus in the world. I have some footage of 3rd Gen that I took that I want to show you. Alright, so I'm at the middle school for Violet's concert, and they have a 3rd Gen here, so I'll do a quick walk around. So we have our lights and everything, like ambers and reds up there, stuff like that. I'll have to blur that number. Alright, this is what I wanted to show you guys, kind of. So this bus has 2 stop signs. And then, look at these wheels. Look, I cannot talk. Look at these wheels down here. Everything like that. We have all the good stuff. And then we have our front stop sign. That's going to come out and flash up and down and everything. And then we go to the front of the bus. Okay, so then we have our beautiful front. We have our inside of the bus, crosswalk, the beautiful engine, everything like that. Then we're going to get the door side, driver's seat. I almost showed the county name. I don't want to do that. Diesel. All right. And that is that. Thank you, guys. The last things I want to praise about this bus are the driver features. Now, obviously, I'm not a bus driver. Come on, I'm 15 years old. However, I can still add the driver features as a factor because they are important for the bus drivers out there. Shout out to all you guys. As you can see in these pictures I'm showing you, you have a very nice steering wheel, your radio, your mic, a pretty big rear view mirror inside the bus, and some nice rear view mirrors outside the bus. I personally really like how IC Bus did the outside rearview mirrors. I think they look really nice. To the left, you can see all your other buttons, your heaters, your AC, your ambers and reds, all the good stuff. This is pretty standard placement on a school bus. Not much originality here, but it's still easy for the bus driver to access, which is the important thing. Overall, it's a very nice driver's area with a comfortable seat that I've sat in, as you can see in this picture, and it provides a very safe experience because the bus driver doesn't have to bend their arms and or fingers as much as they would on another bus to reach the basic buttons. Now that we've covered the good things about this bus, I think it's time we talk about the things that are not so great. The first things I want to talk about are the bus's outside lights. I know I mentioned earlier that they're very quiet, but that's not the issue. The issue is that they are very clearly visible from inside the bus. Sometimes this will catch me off guard, and it's just very annoying to look at in general. Here's an example. That's the first thing I don't like about this bus. As I mentioned earlier, one more thing I don't like about this bus is the small amount of legroom it has. This was a little bit of a disappointment for me because I sit with someone else who has to hold their stuff, not to mention that I have to hold my stuff too, including an instrument. We make it work, but if the bus ever gets full enough that we have to have a third person in our seat, I don't know if we could. This bus is designed to hold 83 passengers, but that's only for elementary schoolers, and my bus is middle and high schoolers. To be fair, that's exactly what it says on my county school bus transportation website. So, now it's time for my final rating of this bus. Honestly, I have to give it a 9 out of 10. You might be wondering why I rated it so high with the complaints I have, but the truth is those complaints aren't a huge deal. Yes, the bus could have been designed better, but that doesn't get in the way of me actually enjoying the bus. Alright guys, well, thank you for watching my first video. I want to do school bus reviews, spottings, and ride-alongs on this channel, so I hope you'll get on my bus and hit the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed the video, but if you don't, that's okay. I hope you guys enjoy watching my first video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!